Looking for the latest on the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, and Aggies? Yeah, we've got you covered. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Have you gotten it filled out yet? Go to KSLSports.com. March is here, and we're looking to hook you up. Go to KSLSports.com and go to the KSL Sports Basketball Mayhem brackets. Make your picks for a chance to win $1 million for a perfect bracket. All right? Likelihood of that, pretty slim. But we are giving away $1,000. I guarantee you somebody's getting $1,000. For the best bracket, we'll give you $1,000. And if you beat Jeremiah Jensen, if your bracket finishes ahead of him, you and everybody else who does the same will go into a drawing for $500. It's all brought to you by Omada Real Estate. Download the free Omada Real Estate app today from the real estate experts at the Stern Team. So there you go. And by the way, if you need a little help with your bracket, make sure to listen on Wednesday because we'll go with one-on-one with Ken Pomeroy for 2 hours.
Step by step.
Yep. Ooh, baby.
We're going to go through it.
Gonna get to you, girl.
Oh, I was thinking great TV show.
Step by Step. I don't remember that one.
Was Suzanne Summers?
Step by Step. I thought that was Three's Company.
Well, she was in Three's Company, but she was in Step by Step.
Oh, okay. I don't remember Step by Step.
Are you
not ringing a bell?
Lloyd?
Step by Step.
Scotty?
I like how I brought up Home Improvement to you, and you didn't remember Home Improvement.
Oh, no, I do. I totally
you do?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. I just didn't remember the exact premise.
Oh, gotcha.
But I absolutely remembered the show.
Brody and I have been watching those on Netflix.
Step by Step was a big one, guys.
Is that the guy that was on Dallas?
Yes.
Why do I not remember this show? This looks like a show I would have watched.
I don't know because I was crushed out on major crush.
Oh, that was the girl that was in My Two Dads.
That's right.
I remember that show.
Major crush.
All right.
As you're seeing it, are you now remembering?
Yeah, I don't remember the show. No, I don't think I ever watched the show.
That dopey little toe-headed kid was...
With the glasses?
Yeah, was so obnoxious.
Yeah, he looks like a dork. Suzanne Summers, man. People forget.
Oh, she was everything, all things. And let me just tell you that the Thigh Master did not sell itself. I'm just telling you, it's not exactly the workout device that you need in your home. Suzanne sold the hell out of that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, she was incredible.
Best commercial ever.
Yeah, dude, I'm not going to lie, dude. Being a child of the 80s and 90s, guys, I'm telling you, we had the best childhood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, by far. Now I'm watching these old Home Improvement shows with Brody, and Brody's laughing his rear end off. And he's like, there's no sitcoms like this anymore.
No. Lloyd just brought up Little House. Little House was, back in the 70s, but went into the 80s, into the 80s with 9 seasons.
It was a part of my childhood.
Yeah, you weren't, and you weren't necessarily watching them live.
No.
But, after school, they'd rerun them. You'd come home, have your PB&J.
Yep.
Watch that or the Brady Bunch or something like that.
It's funny. Lloyd started watching Little House this weekend. Rock and I started back up after a 2-year hiatus, but I actually went and Googled something to try to figure out how much money these people made doing Little House. And I should know because Merlin was on it. My uncle was a part of Little House on the Prairie, and I should know, but he obviously never talked dollars and cents at things. I do know he did extremely well with it. But I read a thing that said that Carolyn Ingalls, which I think her real name was Karen something, Grassel or something, she made almost $4 every time it played.
Whoa!
Which, would have been thousands and thousands of times. Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
But my guess is that Merlin's family, my Aunt Susan, who's still alive and doing well, she's out in California, and my 3 cousins, his 3 kids, Nate and the two girls, probably making some money on that.
Still.
I'll bet they're still making some money on that thing.
I'm just going to say, Pa is such an amazing human being.
Charles Ingalls may be the greatest TV character in the history of TV characters.
Unbelievable human being.
Yeah.
Nobody worked harder than that man.
Incredible grit.
Yes.
Great honesty. And the frontier that he raised his kids on. Now, remember, this whole thing is, Laura Ingalls, this whole thing is off her journal.
Yes.
The entire set of Little House on the Prairie is an actual journaled event of a young woman and her exploits across the American West.
I'm just going to let you two
I'm sorry. It was just, watching it was so good.
Can somebody wake me up when this is
Stop, Scotty.
You're a
telling you,
sad, sad person. If you can't enjoy Little House, I think your heart is more black than you lead on. I think you're a dark human being.
A man offered to give Pa, here, just take it and you can get me. And Pa's like, nope, if I don't have the money, I'm not going to do it.
That's right.
I will not do it.
Wouldn't do it on credit.
I need to make sure I have the money and I will pay you. I will do the work.
Wouldn't do it on credit.
Sleazy O'Brien.
Anyways, we do have a tournament coming up.
We do have this thing called an NCAA tournament.
Oh, and it's a big one.
Yeah.
It's a big one. Oh, and guess what? A couple local teams involved.
Yep.
Hey, when you were talking with the people.
What is it? Let's see. Utah State's a 10 seed, which is about the age of Half Pint when she got married to Almanzo, who was 42.
Almanzo's her brother.
Or no, who was the husband?
Almanzo Manley. Almanzo married Half Pint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're thinking of Willie.
Oh, no. Not Willie. Somebody was living with them.
Oh, Albert.
Albert. Okay. I was like, wait a sec.
Lloyd, how do you keep dragging us back to Little House? This is impressive. I'm so impressed with you.
No, I don't even want any part of this. In fact, I am failing as a producer. This is my fault.
You are the one that drug us back.
We tried to get out. My bad.
She was 12 when she was married, not 10. She was 12.
Oh, well, that makes it all better.
And Almanzo was just in his mid-20s.
Oh, that's creepy.
Oh, the American West was crazy. But anyways, you're right. Utah State. Hey, when you were talking to people around, and I know I saw you playing a video for me before the show started.
Yeah.
Talking to people around, were they happy with the 10 seed? Are they happy with the selection?
Like, you wanted to be better, but when New Mexico came in as a 10, now New Mexico is a regular season champ, and they were announced before Utah State. So when New Mexico pops up at a 10, you're thinking, uh-oh, that could be a problem because that's your regular season champion. So if they're a 10, where's Utah State at? And so I think at that point, people were thinking, okay, 11 or maybe an 11 starting in Dayton. But no, Utah State pulls the 10 seed, and so they are in a good situation. It's, Coach Calhoun mentioned this when we talked to him, and if you missed it, Jared Calhoun started the show with us at the noon hour, and he said that, you're seeing these, for lack of a better term, these G5 schools kind of get pushed down a little bit because you've got this huge inequity of NIL money. And the SEC gets, 14 teams in? Just a crazy amount because they're spending tons of money. They're getting all the best athletes, and they're seeing that separation. So in a year where you may have seen New Mexico and Utah State be a 7 and an 8 seed, now they're both coming in at 10 seeds. And San Diego State just limping in by the narrowest of margins as an at-large team or as a play-in team.
Yeah. And I actually like that play-in. I do think that UNC probably gets the win. I know people are really bent.
Oh, man, everybody's upset about North Carolina right now.
Yeah, they're really bent.
And how would North Carolina best respond to that? Go on a run.
And
you think it's going to happen?
Yes. I've got UNC beating San Diego State on the play-in and then beating Ole Miss and then losing to Iowa State.
Tell you what, if San Diego State beats North Carolina, and let's say they beat them soundly, that is going to be a bad day for the committee and a bad day for the NCAA.
If what?
If San Diego State beats North Carolina badly.
Oh, yeah. If they embarrass them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many questions. I know that's in Sports Roulette, too. Some of the details on that it does not look good.
No, it doesn't.
It's an ugly look. But if they got whooped, it'd look really bad.
Yeah.
Because,
and by the way, well, I don't know, I'll save it for Roulette if it pops up. But there's a lot more storylines popping out that are coming out of this thing.
Yeah, it does make you wonder if it'll ever lead to an investigation. I don't think it will, but sometimes you wonder who's picking and how they're picking and what their process is. But I do have UNC beating San Diego State, and I've got them beating Ole Miss in their opening matchup. I do have Utah State advancing over UCLA. I just have them facing up against number 2 Tennessee.
That'll be a tough one.
I do think that the bracket, the lower portion of the bracket that they drew was decent. Like if they could, maybe they can get past Tennessee. There's a lot of people that feel like Tennessee is a highly overrated school.
Yeah.
That the conference is a little overprojected and that Tennessee was overrated.
For a 10 seed where Utah State is, I don't hate their draw at all.
No, because let's just say by some crazy circumstance they did beat Tennessee. Then they end up against Coach Pope's
Kentucky,
yeah, right?
I believe so.
I think Kentucky would come out of as the 3 seed through the top part of that division. So if they did by chance beat Tennessee, they'd see Coach Pope.
Let's go.
And then again, Coach Pope's had a lot of letdown moments through the season. So there's just a lot of possibilities there. And then I feel like BYU got the best draw possible. Ball Arena, Denver, Colorado. It's a 2:00 tip, middle of the day, prime time. They're a 2.5-point favorite over number 11 seed VCU. But there are some concerns with VCU.
Yeah.
And Coach Odom, who joined us at 1:00 today.
By the way, if you missed any of these conversations, I'll be up on our podcast feed at KSL and also at KSLSports.com. But just search Hans and Scotty on your podcasting platform of choice, and you can listen to it there. But I like BYU's draw. I think it's favorable. But I do think VCU is going to give them all kinds of fits because what VCU does well plays into what BYU struggles with. VCU's really good defensively. VCU's going to try to force a lot of turnovers. BYU's been bit with the turnover bug throughout parts of the season.
I think when we were talking to Ryan, he said that one of their best attributes is they guard the backcourt well.
Yes. Yep.
That's what you got to do against BYU. You've got to be able to get out and really press on the 3 and press hard on the 3 and not lose your rotation, not lose the man that rotates out and gets that open look. And if VCU can do that, they could probably make it pretty tough for BYU. But it's not a give-me win, and it's not an easy matchup, but nothing really is in the NCAA tournament.
No.
You can always find a way to be concerned or worried about an opponent, but I still have BYU beating VCU and covering the 2.5.
Do you look at if by chance BYU were to lose this game, back-to-back losses as a 6 seed in the NCAA tournament? How cranky?
Both against A10 tournament
against
champs.
A10, Duquesne last year, VCU this year. If that were to happen, how cranky are BYU fans? Now, that's a new coaching staff. If Mark Pope did it in back-to-back years, see, I just think that everybody, for the most part, everybody's been looking ahead to next season so much that everybody's like, oh, when the team started out 1-3 in the Big 12, they're like, it's fine. Next year. It's all about next year. And then all of a sudden this team got hot and now is one of the hottest teams coming into the NCAA tournament outside of that loss to Houston. And so I think that shifted expectations to a little bit in terms of, wow, if you lose to an A10 team after what you did in the Big 12 this year, it's a bit of a disappointment, even though I do think the cavalry's on its way and next year's team is going to be even better.
I think that the BYU fans would be pretty restless.
Pretty grumpy?
Yeah. BYU has not had a tournament win since the 2011 season.
Since Jimmer was playing.
2012 tournament, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think that they would be pretty restless. A couple of reasons, and maybe not your general fan, but I do think your NIL supporting fan.
Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Because as Coach Odom very astutely mentioned, what was it Coach Odom that said BYU's putting more into NIL?
Oh, it was Jared Calhoun.
Okay, that was Coach Calhoun.
Yeah.
Coach Calhoun mentioned BYU is putting more into NIL than anybody, and he went as far as to say in the world.
Yeah.
So something has gotten back to Coach Calhoun with the amount of money that's been put into the BYU NIL hoppers. And, yeah, I know, because I've been talking about it for how long,
Yeah.
that there's a lot of money in there.
Yeah.
And I think that the people putting the money in, if it was just another first-round exit to an A-10 tournament champ, which VCU is good, and they do a lot of good things.
Oh, yeah.
But BYU's got no rights as a top 4 team in the Big 12 losing to even A-10 tournament champ. They got to get that win. So your everyday average BYU fan probably doesn't come unglued, and it probably doesn't get overly negative because it is Coach Young's first go. I do think the NIL supporters are going to be like,
hey,
okay, what's the payoff here?
Yeah. I see.
Igor Damon he's a big dollar kid. You know, and we want momentum and excitement for AJ DeBonsa. We want this energy to continue for BYU. It would be nice to have at least one tournament win to build off for the 2025-26 season. Don't you think? You know, I think that would be the conversation amongst the people that are writing checks.
Yeah. And you don't want to tick those guys off.
Because what are you writing checks for?
Wins.
And more specifically, tournament wins? Maybe?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
More specifically, it'd be tournament wins.
Yeah, you want to be there sitting courtside and watching your team make a run towards San Antonio.
Yeah, so you want to be able to go to Denver, pay for a ticket, sit down, watch them beat VCU, and know that you're going to get to see Wisconsin.
Yeah.
In what, 2 nights?
Yep. On Saturday night.
On Saturday night. That's what your thought and hope is. The very minimum is round of 32. But then there's also a confidence there that it's like, geez, you know, if we butt up against Wisconsin, we feel like we got the matchup against Wisconsin. You know, you're thinking about that if you're a BYU money man right now.
Yeah.
Like, I think we got the edge on Wisconsin. We might be sitting in this seat watching them take on number 2 Alabama with a chance to win this lower portion of the Eastern bracket and an opportunity to present against number 1 Duke.
Yeah. I just want to see that BYU Alabama game because that thing would be high-level entertainment right there.
BYU Alabama would be incredible. But to your question, I think that there would be people that are very close to the program that would lose their minds on a first-round exit.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Hans and Scotty right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The wheel is loaded, and it's time to talk some sports. This is Sports Roulette with Hans and Scotty on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Time for another edition of Sports Roulette. We take some of the big storylines we've not had a chance to get to. We put on a roulette wheel. We spin it. Wherever that little ball lands, it's what we end up talking about. So with that, Lloyd, let's get it.
Not sure I like this pro day format.
I don't like it, Scotty. I officially don't like this Big 12 format.
Oh, really?
No, I don't like it. I think it's stupid. And I think guys get overlooked, and I think numbers get bunched up and probably wadded up and thrown out and not cared about. So I was down at practice the other day, down at BYU practice the other day, and kind of got into not an argument, but, you know, a bit of a back and forth of, no, this is for the betterment of the team and the betterment of the players. I'm like, this is bullcrap, and you know it's bullcrap. Well, yeah, but this puts all the eyeballs on everybody. No, it doesn't. It does not put all the eyeballs on everybody. When I would have an NFL Pro Day at BYU and we'd get 24 of the 32 NFL teams that would come through with 1 or 2 scouts per team, the 12 of us that were participating, we got those eyeballs of those scouts. Okay, well, let's say you now have 120, or let's just say 64. No, let's go a little bit higher. 85 scouts, NFL scouts, that come out to the Big 12 Pro Day in Dallas. They don't care about you. They're still there to see Travis Hunter or McMillan. They're still there to see Shedeur Sanders or Darian Porter, or they're there to see. You don't even have a top 15 prospect here in the state out of the Big 12. The top prospect out of this state in the Big 12 comes in at number 16. And that's defensive end for BYU.
Batty.
Tyler Batty.
Yeah.
You've got a top 50. I think the first Ute that checks in is like number 50. It's Junior Tafuna. And then Crinny Reed's down to like 54. These scouts aren't there to see them. Well, yeah, they'll take in a number or two, and yeah, they'll compare it to maybe what they saw at the NFL Combine, and maybe something increased a little bit. But number one, you don't get your home field advantage.
Nope. You don't get that track up at the University of Utah where everybody's running a 3.940.
Exactly. And there's something to that.
Oh, yeah.
There were a couple guys that got drafted off of that.
Yep.
So you don't get your home field, your home bench, your home throws. Let's say you're asking me to go run routes. Or, I'm Jacob Robinson. You're asking me to defend against routes. I know the receiver that I'm looking at. I know the throws that I've prepared against. I know the feel and shape of the field. I'm in front of my people, so I feel comfortable in my drop steps and my back pedal and my hands and my contact. I feel better because it's mine. This is my area. But now you're taking me out of that. You're putting me in a place where I'm with, there's 14 BYU players and there's 15 Utah players that are going to be at this thing. I mean, just those two teams. That's 29 players. When I could have the right eyeballs, let's just say it's 28 eyeballs. And by the way, if I've got a top prospect, if I've got Tyler Batty, I'm going to get all 32 there.
Yep.
So I hate it. I am directly in opposition of it. This sucks. You had higher-ups that wanted to make money. They wanted to make it easier for the NFL, and the way they painted it was it's better for you and your players.
Yes.
Because you're going to have more eyes.
Yep.
I don't agree. I think your performances will be less. So, whether it's your bench or your 40 or your routes or your personal workouts, it's not your home. And I actually was really ticked off that I had to get in an argument on a practice field with an idiot that's bought into the product.
Oh, now I want to know who it was. Tell me during the break.
It's just...
Will I be surprised?
No. No. Because it's just somebody that's bought into the product. They think that the Big 12 has all these great ideas. And sometimes you kind of got to go against it and say, I see what you want to do, and it's all about money. But no, but that's close.
Okay.
That's really close. But
Truth is, there's a reason teams perform better at home when they're playing at home against, whatever, whether it's the Jazz or whatever.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Makes sense.
And it's like, don't sell me the Big 12 bottom line, bud.
Yeah.
Like the Big 12's done a lot of good things. This is a dumb thing. If I'm a senior at Utah right now, This, you're right, Lloyd, this takes away from me. Well, you got more eyes on you. Bull crap, man. I'm the 68th projected prospect out of the Big 12. Nobody's going to pay two craps to anything I do at the Big Star.
Yeah.
Nobody. Well, but there's more eyeballs. They don't care about me.
No.
They're too busy with Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah.
And believe me, when you look at the throngs, it's going to be around Shadur Sanders and Cam Scatterbo. There'll be some around McMillan, and there'll be about 1,000 around Travis Hunter. And then there will be two individuals walking around taking a couple of stupid little notes on, Hans Olsen with his 4.5-inch vertical.
Say you make a mistake right out of the gates, and they're just like, oh, okay. And then they just move on and
Yes.
watch something else.
We're done.
Like, okay, I've seen enough.
You got one little crack, and then
I've seen enough.
We're done with you.
I hate it. And, BYU and Utah did such an amazing job of catering to the NFL scouts that when they showed up, they were in a good mood.
Oh, yeah.
They were full of good food, and they had front row parking. Every one of their parking spots was labeled. That's what the Utah and BYU do. They label the coaches, the scouts' parking spots, and then they would usher them in and have their whole area corridored off so no media, no fans, no friends, no family could get in their way. And they usher them around and, look at our products.
Yeah.
And by the time these scouts leave, they're like, man, I'm kind of feeling these BYU products. I'm feeling these Utah guys. Yeah. Instead, throw them all in the Death Star.
Yep. Oh, it's Jerry's World. It's big time now. Yeah,
It's a bunch of crap.
All right, 2:48. Wrap this bad boy up next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.